Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the very first grad chat for CU-GARS 2018. We are so very excited that you're joining us here this evening. We have a great lineup for you. So tonight, we're going to be chatting about the pre-application process. So we're going to give you some great information as far as applying to the program here at Clemson, and also just some general background information about our student affairs program here at Clemson. We have an awesome panel lined up for you tonight. They are all either members of the first year or the second year cohort, and they all have some awesome insight prepared to drop some knowledge on you tonight. So to kick things off, I'm Adric Hardy. I am a graduate assistant in student accessibility services. I attended East Carolina University for undergrad. Go Pirates. I am a second year member of the cohort, and I am going to be one of your co-hosts this evening. And I'll let my lovely co-host introduce herself.
Hey y'all, my name is Morgan Daney, and I am originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. I did my undergrad at NC State in North Carolina, so go Pack. And I am a first year in the cohort, and I am a graduate assistant in the Healthy Campus office here at Clemson.
Awesome. So before we get started, I want to clear some things up. CU-GARS is an acronym. I came here to CU-GARS thinking that it was Clemson Cougars. And I was like, you know what, that's an interesting way to spell Cougars. And I also thought it was Clemson Tigers. We are, in fact, the Clemson Tigers. Yeah. So CU-GARS stands for Clemson University Graduate Assistant Recruitment and Selection. Clemson University Graduate Assistant Recruitment and Selection, therefore CU-GARS.
Yeah, and we don't expect you to remember that, so it's okay if you don't worry about remembering that, but just to clear the air.
Just clear some things up.
Yeah. So next we want to have the rest of our lovely panel introduce themselves. So we're just going to go one at a time, and if y'all can just say your names, where you're from, your undergrad, and your assistantship here at Clemson, and whether you're first or second year.
Hello, my name is Elmer Orellana. I'm a second year at Clemson University. I'm originally from El Salvador, but my hometown is Richmond, Virginia. My graduate assistantship is with Student Leadership and Community Engagement. I did my undergrad at George Mason University in Fairfax, Virginia.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm in the first year cohort. I'm from Roanoke, Virginia, and I did my undergrad at Old Dominion University. I'm a graduate assistant in the Center for Career and Professional Development.
Hi, I'm Allison Fetcher. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I did my undergrad at Ball State University in Indiana. I'm a second year in the program, and I'm the graduate assistant for the Cooperative Education Program.
Hi everyone, my name is Katie Pope. I am originally from Louisville, Kentucky, but I did my undergrad at Nova Southeastern University, which is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I am in the first year cohort, and my graduate assistantship is in RISE, which stands for Residence in Science and Engineering.
Awesome. Thank you so much to our lovely panelists for introducing themselves. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty. Again, I want to remind you all that we are still watching the Twitter feed. So if you have any questions that you want answered, we had a few questions that we're going to try to squeeze in for tonight. But if you have any questions that you want answered regarding the application process and we don't cover them tonight, please make sure that you are tweeting us those questions at CU_GARS, and we'll be happy to try to answer those tonight. Okay, let's go ahead and let's get into it. So a really big thing about this time of year is finding the right program, right? So the first question that we're going to start off with is, why did you choose to apply to Clemson, and how did you narrow down your grad search? So let's go to Olivia.
Great. So Clemson, initially I chose to apply just because the faculty were so nice and so welcoming. When I had graduated from ODU, I thought I was going to go to grad school up north or out west, but not necessarily in the south. And I ended up going to Saxa, and I met Dr. Tony Coffin. And he spoke so highly of the program as well as other graduate students that were there. So that's what made me initially apply. And then as far as narrowing it down, Clemson for me just had the best package, honestly. I did not want to go into a lot of student loan debt. So that was really why I chose Clemson and how I narrowed it down.
Thank you, Olivia. Morgan?
That's a hard question. So I'm a very detail-oriented person, and the way that I started my grad search is just by creating like this huge spreadsheet. I'm talking like I had hundreds and hundreds of grad schools, y'all. Like, it was ridiculous. And for me, I had to really think about what I valued in a grad school. And the things that came to the top of my mind when I was doing my grad school search were I valued the out of like classroom experience. So lots of hands-on experience, and I wanted a program that required an assistantship, and also wanted a program that would allow me to get other experiences outside the classroom besides my assistantship. And I also wanted a program that did value like academics, and that was academically rigorous. And Clemson really kind of had the best of both worlds. And I did want to go to a large school. I knew that because I went to NC State and I'm from a big city. So slowly but surely I started to narrow down that list of about 100 to about 4 or 5 schools. And Clemson really rose to the top because of just the value that they put on the hands-on experience you really get here in this program. So that's how I did my search.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
It was a lot. It was definitely a lot, but yeah. So our next question is, what are the differences between acceptance to the graduate school and acceptance upon being offered a position, like a graduate assistant position? And Elmer is going to be answering this question for us.
So the difference between accepting or getting into grad school is that you're invited to CU-GARS, where you will be interviewing for an assistantship. So just because you got accepted to come to interview weekend doesn't mean that you have a guaranteed assistantship. That's why you go through the process of recruitment and selection to kind of interview with different employers. And if you're a match with one of those employers, then you're like admitted to the program. I know that there's like 2 applications out there, one to apply for the graduate school and then one for assistantships. Make sure that you apply for both. They're both due January 15th. So make sure you fill out both in order to be interviewed and hopefully land an assistantship here at Clemson.
Yeah, thanks, Elmer. That's definitely really important to reiterate the difference between those 2 applications and make sure that you fill out both when applying. We want to see a lot of you there in February at CU-GARS, and it's really important to make sure that you fill out both applications, one for the grad school and then one for the assistantships that we offer here at Clemson. So Adrica, when we're filling out the application for the assistantships and for the program as a whole, how do those essay questions that are on the application reflect the program as a whole?
Yeah, that's also a really good question. Okay, so if you are applying to multiple programs, you will probably see that Clemson is a little bit unique in how we ask questions, and there's an essay portion. There's multiple essays that you have to write in order to apply to this program. And something that's really cool about it is it's reflective of what you do in the program. So a lot of what we do, especially at super intensive in the first year of this program, is writing a lot about yourself. Student development theory, right? You can't really go out and help other students, and you can't help other people when you don't know where you are in your own development. So a lot of that is writing about yourself, writing about your identity development, writing about where you are in student development theory, because I mean, at this point, you're still a student, right? It's reflective of what you're going to be doing in this program. So I think it's a really good way to assess how you're going to be able to write, writing about yourself right now versus how you're going to do that year that you're in school. So.
And the best way to approach it is really just to be honest.
Yeah.
The faculty really want to see who you truly are, and the best way to approach that is just to really tell your true story. So.
Yes, definitely be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Cool. So we talked a lot about assistantships. What is the graduate assistantship? Allison, can you answer that for us?
I can. So the graduate assistantship is actually why you come to CU-GARS, is you come to that to interview for your assistantship, which is your grad school job. And the grad school job is very important because it waives your tuition, which means you are not paying full tuition, you're only paying fees. So you will need to prepare to pay for fees, but that graduate assistantship is between 25 and 28 hours a week. And I feel like depending on your specific assistantship, that might look a little different in how that shakes out for you or what your responsibilities are. But it is the job that pays you to keep you from starving while you're in grad school. And they're all a little bit different. All right.
Awesome. So we talked a little bit about that classroom experience too, because really our program is built on the graduate assistantship experience, but also the classroom experience. So let's start with Katie. And how would you describe your classroom experience so far?
So my classroom experience so far has been incredible. First off, our faculty at this school are top-notch, incredible, some of the best people you will ever meet. And so it's amazing to come into that classroom environment with people that you completely trust to not only give you valid and relevant information, but to treat you with so much respect. I think the classroom environment is open and highly interactive, more than I expected it to be, in the sense that in some instances, you are responsible for teaching the class about a certain concept, which for me really enforces my knowledge and does a lot for me. Sorry, I had someone knock. But the benefit of the program is that you're kind of treated like a professional in the sense that you're really respected. You're involved in a lot of the discussions. Again, your peers teach you nearly as much as the faculty do, even though they're super well in their game. But you're also given the benefit of being a student, in the sense that you're still learning and you're not reprimanded and you're not like kind of talked down to or condescended, or faculty and the peers are not condescending. So I think the classroom environment is top notch. I love going to class every day. I truly mean that. Because even if you're not having a good day, you can still go and your cohort is there to support you and your professors are there to support you. So it's amazing. I love it.
Awesome. I definitely agree. Yeah. Let's get another perspective, because Katie is a first year. Elmer, what would you say about the second year experience in the classroom?
So the second year experience in the classroom, what Katie said, I echo those sentiments. The professors they challenge us to think critically. Sometimes we have to like step out of our comfort zone or things that we think we already know. But in the classroom, they're always probing us to like dig deeper, to critically think, and to like challenge our ideas or thoughts or our preconceived notions. In the second year in the program, we have class, I think, our diversity and our diversity issues class, that's where we're split into two sections, but our research class, we're all together. And I think it's really beneficial when we're all together, because the professor just like kind of tells us what we're doing in research. We have writing labs. Each professor has their own teaching style, their own pedagogy, which is interesting to watch. Dr. Robin Phelps Ward, she's very engaging, very reflective, in like the work that we do and the questions that we ask. Our assignments are very creative. Like first year, it's a lot of writing and like introspection, but the second year is more about group projects, research based, and looking at like different groups and their access to like higher education. I think it like follows like the first year experience, but with more like, I don't know, hands-on and like amazing projects that we get to do with our cohorts. So all the professors are great. They all have their individual teaching pedagogy, which is interesting to watch because each classroom is like not the same. And that's what I really like about our classes.
Yes, thank you all for giving us those perspectives, and I definitely have to agree with that. The faculty, they're top notch. You're not going to get them anywhere else. They're very unique in a lot of different things that they do. So, what does Clemson offer as far as practicum experience? So, experiences outside of what you do in your assistantship. Let's go to Allison for this one.
All right. I think actually that's one of the coolest parts of our program is that it requires at least 3 different experiences outside of your assistantship to graduate. which is really cool because it really allows you to build the background you want, or gives you a chance to experiment in a background you might be interested in if that isn't what you got a graduate assistantship in. So like, for example, I'm really interested in going into advising. So I did my practicum with Clemson's College of Science, where I did a lot of behind the scenes administrative stuff, which gave me a really interesting perspective on administration and how that works with advising and how a whole college looks at something, which is really different to right now. I'm interning in the colleges of engineering, computing, and applied sciences. Sorry, that title's really long. And that's like really more one-on-one advising with transfer students, which is a group of students I really didn't have a lot of experience with, and a lot of veterans. So I learned a lot about different student groups and a lot of things that we have to be thinking about when working with them. And then I also, over the summer, interned in Dublin, Ireland at University College Dublin in their engineering and architecture department, which was really amazing. So that was my background, but maybe, you know, you want to get some interest in orientation, or there are a bunch of other schools around Clemson. There are tech schools, there are small, like more liberal arts schools or Christian schools, or the hospital system where you can build student affairs background experiences that all will factor into the program. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you, Allison. And yeah, again, I have to agree. The one thing I love about this program, there are lots of opportunities for you to venture outside of your assistantship and find other things that you may be interested in. Also, there's opportunity for you to solidify what you do not like. For me, my practicum experience was something that made me realize, you know, that's not what I want to do. However, I gained an amazing mentor and someone that I know that I can come to for anything, especially, you know, job hunting season. It's among us. It's here. It's now. Wow, as I said that, that's. Whew, okay.
You got it. It's fine.
Yeah.
You got it.
Job hunting season is here. But yes, just like Allison, I did study abroad. I did an internship in Sheffield, England, at the University of Sheffield, and it was absolutely amazing. It was my first time leaving the country, and I wouldn't have traded it for anything. And again, I can't speak for a lot of programs. I know that Clemson is unique in certain ways, and that being able to study abroad is something that was amazing for me. I worked in the Office of Recruitment and Admissions at the University of Sheffield, and just seeing the way that they do things is very different from, you know, applying to colleges here. It's very different. But I mean, being able to have that global perspective on student affairs and higher education, it was, you know, I don't know if I could have gotten that anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely an incentive on applying to Clemson University. You may have the opportunity to go study abroad and do an internship abroad. Just throwing that out.
That's
there.
a pretty cool experience. Yeah, awesome. We talk a little bit about, you know, a first-year cohort and a second-year cohort. Adric, can you talk a little bit more about what a cohort actually is? I think we take that word for granted and we forget to sometimes define it. So what's your experience been with a cohort?
Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting. It's like, it reminds me of like grade school, where you like go through like different classes with the same people. I mean, that's literally what it is. And it's set up in a way where you can kind of all support each other, right? Like, it's not an individualized thing. Like, we're all struggling through the grad school slump together, you know, like, I mean, because that's what it can be sometimes. I'm just keeping it real. Grad school is grad school. It's not made to be easy. But I think that that's one thing that I can say that I like about this program. And when I was looking to apply to grad schools, like, I needed a cohort model because I wasn't trying to do it by myself. And honestly, I can say that I have made some of the greatest friends I have ever made in my life. I have never gotten so close to people that I have known in such a short amount of time. And it doesn't seem like a short amount of time, but I mean, 2 years, it flies by, it really does. But yeah, that cohort model, it kind of forces you to get to know people, right? I'm naturally an introverted extrovert, so yeah.
What's the typical size of a cohort?
Yeah, so typical size, it just depends. 30 to 35 is what a typical cohort will look like. However, it depends on how many assistantships are available. So I encourage you to check out what assistantships are available online right now. And I will say that not all of the assistantships have been posted yet. The housing assistantships have not been posted. They are to come. So keep on the lookout. Yeah.
Olivia, can you talk a little bit about what your experience as a first year has been like in our cohort?
Yeah, absolutely. Before I came to Clemson, I really was not even that familiar with the cohort model, to be completely honest. But it's been a huge blessing for me personally. When I moved here, I did not know anyone in Clemson or South Carolina. I shouldn't say that. I have family in South Carolina. I was in Clemson area, upstate South Carolina. And so it's just been, like, when I moved here, I like instantly made connections with people. It's like overnight. It's insane. And people are just really supportive because everyone's going through the same thing. Everyone's adjusting to life here at Clemson. And so for me, it's been great. Like Adric said, I've made some like lifelong friends, and I've only been here a couple of months. So overall, it's been a really great experience. It's definitely surpassed all my expectations. And yeah, it's been great.
Awesome. Thank you again to our awesome panelists. So we're going to move on to the questions that you all have. There's been a few of you that have tweeted us, so we're going to go ahead and jump into those. First question I have here, what is the preferred GRE score? Is it possible to be accepted into the program if you are a few points under in the verbal section of the GRE? And we're going to go to Elmer to answer that question.
So I think what I looked up, there's a median score for the GRE for our program. It's a 149 for math, 151.5 for verbal, but it doesn't really matter that much because in our review process, it's a scaling, like based in a rubric. So yes, the GRE score is weighted very differently. I actually got into the program below like the average GRE score for my year. So it's definitely possible. I'm not a great test taker, but there's more to the standardized tests. It's your application, your recommendations and your references and what they say about you. Also what you've been involved in, why you want to be in student affairs, why you want to come to Clemson. So if you scored below the GRE score, you're fine. You're going to hear trust the process a lot as you're going through your graduate school application and journey. But yeah, don't be discouraged. I know there's many more people that I know that didn't hit like the median score or the preferred mark, but just know that your essays, your applications, and your references really speak volumes. So you've got this.
Awesome. So the next question that we got from Twitter was, what is the typical compensation package for GAs, and specifically for GAs from housing?
Cool. Yeah. So typical compensation, it honestly just depends. It's going to be, I would encourage you to look back at what's on the graduate assistantship website. Look at those postings because it really just depends. Some of us are out here getting paid better than others. I'll say that. It honestly just depends on where you are. Yeah. Don't do it for the money.
Yeah. We're not in it for the money. We love our students.
Yes,
that's what
we love
say.
Our students. Yes.
Yeah.
So the next question, how many grad students make up the student affairs cohort? I think we already answered that, didn't we? We did. We threw that in there. It's fine. You know what? We're reading off a script, and it's fine because sometimes things happen. Yeah, we
roll with it.
We're rolling. Okay, so we're gonna move on to some notes. We're getting ready to close out here in just a little bit. Some things that I want to emphasize. That we talked about that. Deadline to apply, January 15th. That is for both the graduate assistantship application and also the application to the program in general. Please, please, please do not forget. It is different in past years. We've moved it up by 1 month. So please remember that. January 15th to both the graduate assistantship application and also the application to our program.
And a couple notes from our faculty members in terms of your application. One of our faculty members noted that it's really helpful to have one reference who can speak to your academic accolades and your ability to be able to succeed in a graduate setting in the classroom. So if you can keep that in mind as you are applying, that would be really helpful for our faculty members. And they also said when writing your essays, make sure that you have a clear thesis statement and supportive and detailed evidence to justify what you're writing and your assertion. So just keep in mind those really good writing skills that you've accumulated through college so far. Don't forget about them when writing your essays, and just remember to be true to who you are. I know writing personal statements and lots of essays can be super overwhelming, but at the end of the day, what I had to do when writing mine was honestly just word vomit onto a page and then go back and clean it up. So it's really okay. It's going to be fine. Just write about you. You know you best. So it'll be great.
Again, I'd have to retweet on all of them. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to close out. I'm going to ask the panel to go around and give us one thing that you wish you would have known going into this application process. And we will start with Elmer.
One thing that I wish I knew about the application process is definitely being careful that there are two applications. There's the graduate program application and then the assistantship program. So make sure you do both, because sometimes when you're applying to different programs, some of them are just one application. Our program is two, so make sure you do that. Make sure you have somebody proofread your personal statements and give you some feedback. I know that was very helpful for me. So just have somebody in your corner kind of read them once you're ready to submit. And just be yourself, retweeting what Morgan has said.
And Olivia?
I'm going to be the cliche person to say trust the process. Honestly, because I did not hear back about my assistantship until I want to say early April. And so up until that time, I was stressed out. I didn't know would it all work out, what my life would look like for the next 2 years. Would I need to take a gap year? But it all ended up working out, and I don't want to be cliche, but it honestly all ends up working out. Life has a way of just working its own self out. So that would be my biggest piece of advice, and what I wish I would have known, is to not stress out too much about it. So yeah. Okay.
All right, shall I go now? Okay. So I guess I would say come into the whole thing with an open mind and read the assistantship details really, really clearly. So maybe you're dying to be in housing or you're dying to be in orientation, but there really aren't a ton. Well, I guess housing always has a bunch open, but I mean, where I work now, it is the greatest program ever, and I love working for them. And I added them night of, last minute. So just keep an open mind. There are a lot of really, really amazing experiences out here, even though it might not be something you have a lot of familiarity with that you came in from undergrad with. And then they're very serious about the deadlines, though. If they say you need to start in May or you need to start in June, don't apply if you can't do it. They're really serious about that. We were talking about that in the GARS planning meetings, and I guess that's a big problem every year. So don't put yourself into an interview slot where you can't fulfill what they're asking, because you want to make sure that everyone's going to take you seriously.
Yeah.
So that is my suggestion.
Something that I wish I'd known is kind of very similar to what Olivia said, and the whole idea of trusting the process. I know you're going to hear that a lot, but I think I want to make a minor modification and kind of change it to make sure you're trusting yourself. When I applied to 3 schools, and 2 of the deadlines were December 1st, and Clemson's deadline was February 15th. So before I even turned in my application, I'd already heard back from those 2 schools that I was not invited to the weekend. And I was literally crushed. I was like, oh my gosh, maybe this isn't what I should do. Maybe I need to rethink everything. Because of that, I almost didn't apply to Clemson. And I think I just did it. And I literally could not be happier. I'm like, oh, I wish I I wish I didn't doubt myself in that process, because you really do turn out where you're supposed to be, even if it isn't where you originally intend. I think even with my assistantship, kind of the same thing, is that I didn't even select it. I was like, how'd this get on my interview schedule? And it ended up being my #1 choice. And I am so happy here. And Clemson is great. As soon as I visited and met the cohort, met the now second years, I was like, this is the place I'm meant to be. And I fell in love. So I think just making sure that throughout this, it's very, very easy to doubt yourself. So don't just trust the process, even though that's important, but make sure you trust yourself, because that's just one of the best things you can do.
Yes, again, I would have to retweet what Katie said. I mean, you got to be your own hype man, because I mean, that you may not get into every school that you apply to. For me, I applied to 5 grad schools, y'all. I got 4 no's. One of those no's was on graduation day as I was getting ready to walk across the stage. But we're not going to talk about what school, because it's fine. But you got to be your own hype man. You have to be your own hype man. Trust yourself. Also, love yourself. Hype yourself up, because you are awesome. You're going to end up where you need to be. I would also say that you need to ask questions of employers and be intentional about those questions, because you're going to be in this position for the next 2 years of your life. Those 2 years may or may not seem short. And again, I would have to echo what Allison said, go in with an open mind, because I came in wanting to do orientation, and now looking back, I'm just like, no, I could not have done orientation for 2 years full time. You know, I couldn't have done that. And I could not be happier where I am. I have an assistantship, getting experience that I don't know if I would have gotten anywhere else. Be intentional about the questions that you're asking these employers. You got to ask what you're going to be doing, what you're really going to be doing. You gotta know. Ask those questions. Yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, I'm so encouraged by what all of y'all have said. I feel like I just need to like have coffee with y'all. Like, this is great. Mine is a little different. I would say that I wish I knew the importance of taking care of myself. This graduate school process has been really challenging for me in terms of the amount of self-reflection it has taken. So my undergrad degrees were in food science and nutrition science. So I was very STEM heavy. I was always in the lab. I was always doing research. There was always a clear-cut answer. And coming into this grad program, I had to do a lot of self-reflection, and I'm still doing that now. I'm still really deep into that. And also, like, our assistantships are stressful. We work a lot of hours. We invest a lot of time into our students, and we really care about them. And we do a lot of stuff outside of those things too. Like, we're involved in committees, and you know, we take time to play intramurals, and like, we have friends and social lives too. And I'm sure this, whatever this nasty sound is partially a result of not taking care of myself. So I would just really emphasize, like, although I'm sure y'all are stressed too, it's okay to take care of yourself. Like, if you need a nap, like, take a nap. If you need that Starbucks venti, like, get the Starbucks venti. You know, like, take time for yourself. Whatever that looks like for you, it could be as simple as like taking a walk. It's okay, you know. So I wish someone had emphasized to me, like, to take that time for myself. And I'm still learning how to do that now. But yeah, so that's what I would say.
Awesome. I think that's it for tonight. Again, I want to thank you, beautiful people, for joining us here tonight. And for those of you that are going to be watching this after the fact that didn't get to watch it live, that's okay. I hope you get some great information. I hope you got some great information from this. Please join us for our second grad chat, which is going to be on Friday, January 26th at 6:30, just to be consistent. We're going to be discussing how to prepare for CU-GARS. Do you have anything?
Yeah, and I want to give another plug. So thank you to everyone who has interacted with us on Twitter so far, at CU_GARS. If you have questions upcoming about what we should include on our upcoming chat, feel free to tweet us those questions there. Or if you just want to hang out with us, tweet us some questions in the meantime. We'd love to interact with you all on that platform. And the other hashtag that we'll be using for our next chat is hashtag CU-GradChat or CU-GARS18. Again, our handle is CU-GARS or CU_GARS. Yeah. This is what happens when I don't look at the script. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah. Again, we're nice people. So if you see us on social media, hit that friend button. If you got some personal questions, hit the friend button. We're nice people, okay?
I follow back.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have Twitter, but I'm on Facebook. So hit the friend button. Okay, we're out of time for tonight. Again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Go Tigers.
Go Tigs.